Chapter 16. The Awakening of Consciousness. It is necessary to know that humanity lives with the consciousness asleep. People work asleep, people walk through the streets asleep, people live and die asleep. When we come to the conclusion that the entire world lives asleep, we comprehend the necessity of awakening. We need the awakening of consciousness. We want the awakening of consciousness. Fascination. The profound sleep in which humanity lives is caused by fascination. People are fascinated by everything in life. People forget themselves because they are fascinated. The drunkard in the bar is fascinated by alcohol, the place, the pleasures, the friends, and the women. The vain woman is fascinated before the mirror with her own loveliness. The rich miser is fascinated with money and possessions. The honest worker in the factory is fascinated with the hard work. The father is fascinated with his children. All human beings are fascinated and profoundly asleep. When driving a car, we are astonished when we see people dashing across the roads and streets without paying attention to the danger of the cars. Others truly throw themselves under the wheels of cars. Poor people. They walk around asleep, they look like sleepwalkers, they walk around asleep endangering their own lives. Any clairvoyant can see their dreams. People dream about all that has them fascinated. Sleep. During sleep, the ego escapes from the physical body. This departure of the ego is necessary so the vital body can repair the physical body. In the internal worlds, we can affirm the ego takes its dreams into the internal worlds. In the internal worlds, the ego occupies itself with the same things that have it fascinated in the physical world. So during sleep, we see the carpenter in his carpentry shop, the policeman guarding the streets, the barber in his barber shop, the blacksmith at his forge, the drunkard in the tavern or bar, the prostitute in the brothel absorbed in lust, etc. All these people live in the internal worlds as if they were in the physical world. Not a single living being has the inkling to ask himself during sleep whether he is in the physical world or the astral. Those who have asked themselves such a question during sleep have awoken in the internal worlds. Then with amazement, they have been able to study all the marvels of the superior worlds. Only by getting accustomed to asking ourselves this question from moment to moment during the so-called wakeful state, can we manage to ask ourselves such a question in the superior worlds during those hours of sleep. It is clear that during sleep, we repeat everything we do during the day. If during the day we accustom ourselves to asking this question, during our nocturnal sleep, while being outside of the body, we will end up repeating the same question to ourselves. The result will be the awakening of the consciousness. Remembering oneself. The human being that's fascinated does not remember himself. We must self-remember from moment to moment. We need to self-remember in the presence of every representation that could fascinate us. Let's stop before every representation and ask ourselves, where am I? Am I in the physical plane? Am I in the astral plane? Then, give a little jump with the intention of floating within the surrounding atmosphere. It is logical that if you float, it is because you are outside the physical body. The result will be the awakening of consciousness. The purpose of asking this question at every instant, at every moment, is to etch it into the subconscious so it acts later during the hours given to sleep, in the hours when the ego is really outside the physical body. You know that in the astral things appear just as they are here in the physical plane. This is why during sleep, and after death, people see everything there in a form very similar to this physical world. They do not even suspect that they are outside of their physical body. No dead person ever believes he has died. He is fascinated and profoundly asleep. If the dead had made a practice of remembering themselves from moment to moment when they were alive, if they had struggled against the fascination of the things of the world, the result would have been the awakening of consciousness. They would not dream. They would walk around in the internal worlds with the consciousness awake. Whoever awakens the consciousness can study all the marvels of the superior worlds during the hours of sleep. Whoever awakens the consciousness lives in the superior worlds as a totally awakened citizen of the cosmos. One then coexists with the great hierophants of the White Lodge. Whoever awakens the consciousness can no longer dream here in this physical plane or in the internal worlds. Whoever awakens the consciousness stops dreaming. Whoever awakens the consciousness becomes a competent investigator of the superior worlds. Whoever awakens the consciousness is an illuminated one. Whoever awakens the consciousness can speak familiarly with the gods who initiated the dawn of creation. Whoever awakens the consciousness can remember his innumerable reincarnations. Whoever awakens the consciousness can attend his own cosmic initiations consciously. Whoever awakens the consciousness can study in the temples of the Great White Lodge. Whoever awakens the consciousness can know how his kundalini is developing in the superior worlds. Every perfect matrimony must awaken consciousness in order to receive guidance and direction from the White Lodge. In the superior worlds, the masters will wisely guide all those who really love one another. In the superior worlds, the masters give each person what they need for their inner development. Complementary practice. After waking from normal sleep, every Gnostic student must perform a retrospective exercise based on the process of their sleep in order to remember all those places they visited during the hours of sleep. We already know the ego usually travels to where we have been physically, repeating everything we have seen and heard. Masters instruct their disciples when they are outside of the physical body. It is urgent to know how to meditate profoundly, and then practice what we have learned during the hours of sleep. It is necessary to not move at the time of waking up, because, with movement, the astral is agitated and memories are lost. It is urgent to combine the retrospective exercises with the following mantras. Ra Orm, Ga Orm. Each word is divided into 2 syllables. The vowel O should be accentuated. These mantras are for the student what dynamite is for the miner. As the miner opens his way through the bowels of the earth with the aid of dynamite, the student also opens his way into the memories of his subconscious with the aid of these mantras. Patience and tenacity. The Gnostic student must be infinitely patient and tenacious because powers cost a great deal. Nothing is given to us for free. Everything has a cost. These studies are not for inconsistent people or for people with little will. These studies demand infinite faith. Skeptical people should not come to our studies because occult science is very demanding. Skeptics fail totally. Unbelievers will not manage to enter celestial Jerusalem. The 4 states of consciousness. The first state of consciousness is called Akasya. The second state of consciousness is Pistis. The third state of consciousness is Dianoia. The fourth state of consciousness is Nous. Akasya is ignorance, human cruelty, barbarism, exceedingly profound sleep, a brutal and instinctive world, an infrahuman state. Pistis is the world of opinions and beliefs. Pistis is belief, prejudices, sectarianism, fanaticism, theories in which there does not exist any type of direct perception of truth. Pistis is humanity's common level of consciousness. Dianoia is the intellectual revision of beliefs, analysis, conceptual synthesis, cultural intellectual consciousness, scientific thought, etc. Dianoetic thought studies phenomena and establishes laws. Dianoetic thought studies inductive and deductive systems with the purpose of using them profoundly and clearly. Nous is perfect awakened consciousness. Nous is the state of Turiya, profound perfect inner illumination. Nous is legitimate objective clairvoyance. Nous is intuition. Nous is the world of the divine archetypes. Noetic thought is synthetic, clear, objective, illuminated. Whoever reaches the heights of noetic thought totally awakens consciousness and becomes a Turiya. The lowest part of man is irrational and subjective, and is related with the 5 ordinary senses. The highest part of man is the world of intuition and objective spiritual consciousness. In the world of intuition, the archetypes of all things in nature develop. Only those who have penetrated the world of objective intuition, only those who have reached the solemn heights of noetic thought, are truly awakened and illuminated. No true Turiya can dream. The Turiya who has reached the heights of noetic thought never goes around saying so, never presumes to be wise. He is extremely simple and humble, pure and perfect. It is necessary to know that a Turiya is neither a medium, pseudo-clairvoyant, nor pseudo-mystic, unlike those who currently abound like weeds in all spiritual, hermetic, occult, etc. schools. The state of Turiya is very sublime, and is only reached by those who work in the flaming forge of Vulcan all of their lives. Only the Kundalini can elevate us to the state of Turiya. It is urgent to know how to meditate profoundly, and then to practice sexual magic throughout our whole life in order to reach, after many difficult trials, the state of Turiya. Meditation and sexual magic carry us to the heights of noetic thought. Neither dreamer nor medium, nor any of those who enter a school of occult teaching can instantaneously achieve the state of Turiya. Unfortunately, many believe it is as easy as blowing bubbles or, like smoking a cigarette, or like getting drunk. Thus, we see many hallucinators, mediums, and dreamers declaring themselves to be clairvoyant masters, illuminated ones. In all schools, including within the ranks of our Gnostic movement, those people who say they are clairvoyant, without really being so, are never missing. These are the ones who, based upon their hallucinations and dreams, slander others by saying such a person is fallen, so and so is a black magician, etc. It is necessary to advise that the heights of Turiya require many years of mental exercise and sexual magic in perfect matrimony. This means discipline, long and profound study, very intense and profound internal meditation, sacrifice for humanity, etc. Impatience. Commonly, those who have recently entered Gnosis are full of impatience. They want immediate phenomenal manifestations, instantaneous astral projections, illumination, wisdom, etc. Reality is another thing. Nothing is gifted to us. Everything costs. Nothing is attained through curiosity, instantaneously, rapidly. Everything has its process and its development. The Kundalini develops, evolves, and progresses very slowly within the aura of the Maha Chohan. The Kundalini has the power of awakening the consciousness. Nevertheless, the process of awakening is slow, gradual, natural, without spectacular sensational, emotional, and uncivilized events. When the consciousness becomes completely awakened, it is not something sensational or spectacular. It is simply a reality, as natural as a tree that grows slowly, unfolds, and develops without sudden leaps or sensational events. Nature is nature. In the beginning, the Gnostic student says, "I am dreaming." Later he exclaims, "I am in the astral body, outside the physical body." Later still he obtains samadhi, ecstasy, and enters the fields of paradise. In the beginning, the manifestations are sporadic, discontinuous, followed by long periods of unconsciousness. Much later, the igneous wings give us continuous, uninterrupted, awakened consciousness.